Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and welcome back to the topic of discussion. Today's topic is a cartoon that looks into the future! Futurama. Yeah, apparently I'm on this kick of talking about adult cartoons. Maybe I should just retool the show into making it about that, but I figure Futurama is appropriate for today because after today there's going to be some big changes. Well, first of all, I'm shaving. Second of all, I'm going back to school, which means that no more of this backdrop. And hopefully I'll be able to produce episodes, but maybe not as consistent as I have been. We will see. I will really try my hardest, but who knows with my school schedule. Alright, but enough about that. Time for Futurama. Yeah, Futurama is a cool show. It is. It is probably my favorite, or it was probably my favorite, of all the adult cartoons. Mostly because, unlike the rest of them, aside from The Simpsons, it's not filth. It really isn't. I mean, occasionally they'll have episodes about, like, you know, some, like, there's an episode where aliens think that Fry's nose is an aphrodisiac. You know, and I mean, there's episodes like that where it goes into that territory, but it's never completely horrible, gross out humor. They don't go there that often, I should say, and the show doesn't run on it. You know, it's not uncommon to see whole episodes where there's kind of, you know, minimal cursing, no, you know, nothing like really offensive or anything. They'll do that occasionally, but you know, the show, it's much more focused in plot than most other shows of its kind, quote unquote. And it deals with the future, like it deals with the futuristic aspects really well. The future is it's not utopian and it's not dystopian, meaning that it's not completely horrible and run down and needs saving, but at the same time it's not like this perfect shining wonderland. It's realistic in its portrayal of just the workings of the world. Not so much with the technology. I mean, hey, maybe in 1,000 years we'll have that technology, but you know, it's really far out there with what anything can do in the world, technology, aliens, that kind of thing, except you know, everything still works like it does today. Like, stuff breaks down, you know, people are still corrupt, you know, there's systems that are corrupt, you know, there's things like suicide booths. It's not a perfect future by any means, but it's, you know, it's quote-unquote realistic in some of its aspects of that. And I applaud it for that. And that's one of the things that's really cool about the show, is that when you want to see some cool technology and cool gadgets and just cool stuff going on, Futurama is definitely a cool show for that. You'll see a lot of really cool sequences and just neat little ideas that you don't think you thought of. And I mean, the writers, they know their stuff too. In fact, they invented like some sort of fancy math equation for one episode. My favorite episode, by the way. I'll get into that in a little bit. But some of the things that I don't like about the show, to be honest, if I'm being honest here, they made Fry too stupid. Now look, Fry was an idiot all along. Absolutely. From episode 1, he was stupid. But it just seems like with Homer on The Simpsons, they just feel the need to top themselves. But I don't know, when I think about Fry, I don't necessarily think stupid so much as I think everyman. He's kind of meant to be a little bit man-childish, but I don't know. I don't like it when he's excessively stupid. It just, you know, it comes off as meh, and it just ramped up in the later seasons. Not that it's not there in the earlier seasons, but it's definitely ramped up. As is like the show's mean-spiritedness. I guess I don't know if it's probably just a me thing. Maybe it's not. Do you guys feel this way about how like the levels of how mean-spirited the characters should be to each other? You know, it should either be made apparent from the start, like South Park. You know, it's a show where the kids, you know, everyone on that show is going to screw each other over, and they're cool with that. That's the kind of show it is. But with Futurama, I don't know. I expected it to have a little bit more heart than it ended up having. And again, there's early episodes where you know, there's, you know, Bender wants to destroy all humans, but Bender wants to save his friends because they're his friends. In later episodes, Bender would be probably just as fine completely wiping out everyone unless, you know, plot-specific reasons means that he wants to still be friends with Fry. In fact, he's done a lot of horrible things intentionally to Fry, like especially in the later seasons. And I don't know, I don't necessarily find it funny when that stuff happens. I don't know why. I seem to have it ingrained in me. Maybe old cheesy sitcoms instilled this in me, that the unit of main characters, or the unit of group of friends or group of family in the main cast should at least stick together. They can be horrible people outside the group, and they could, have infighting, sure, but I don't know, it just seems like, to have a character say something completely mean-spirited just for a joke or a one-off gag or something like that, it always seems like bad writing or just uncomfortable writing or just, excessive, not serving any purpose. And I feel like this show has been plagued with a little bit of that, more so in the later seasons. And I will admit, the Comedy Central stuff, because the show got canceled like twice or 3 times, but the most recent stuff, the Comedy Central stuff, definitely weaker than the original stuff. There are still some gems in there, but you're not. The episodes aren't quite as. They're more pop culture reference-y. Like there was a whole episode about Apple, which is really unnecessary. But for all its faults, the show does do a lot with the sci-fi theme, and you'll see everything from time travel to future gadgets to aliens to space travel to interesting concepts like space whales, and holophoners. Like you'll see a lot of cool stuff on this show, and it is definitely a great show. I cannot recommend it enough. And unlike South Park, it's definitely not like a super adult show. It's got a little bit of cursing, but it's more or less like how people behave, in that for some reason people think that adult cartoons either need to be super raunchy, and if they're not super raunchy, then they're meant for kids. But that's not how Futurama runs. Futurama, like I said, it toes the line. Alright, so let's talk about my favorite episode. One of my favorites. I will put an addendum before that. You don't put addendums before things. What am I talking about? But I will say that the Farnsworth Parrot Box is also one of my favorite episodes, where the gang finds a whole other universe in a box, and they go into the universe, and their universe is also in a box, and all the characters are them, but like slightly different colored, and it's a universe where like coin flips are inversed, and it plays with the concept really well. But my favorite episode is the episode, why can I not remember the name of it at the moment? It's an episode where it features the Globetrotters. The Globetrotters apparently have their own planet now, which is pretty funny. But basically, Farnsworth tears a hole in space-time, and what happens is these time jump... Oh, time keeps on slipping. There we go. I knew I'd get it. Time basically keeps skipping on them. Like, at first, it'll be 5 seconds. They'll be like, I was... And then it'll cut to, like, they'll be over standing in a different position and talking about something else. And it's like time's still happening, but, like, basically all of their collective memories are kind of jumped forward. Like, stuff happened between the time, but none of them can remember it. And it's a really cool concept, and they do really cool things with it. And there's a really sad moment with Fry towards the end of it, where he does something really cool, and then nobody can remember it. Or, he never gets time to show anyone because it disappears. But it's really neat, nerdy, science-y concepts like that really fuel the show and provide some of the best episodes. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. We shall see, guys. But as always, leave your comments. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe to me if you like me. Share it with your friends. I'm trying to grow here. I'm trying to make this more of a job. Not in the way that I want it to be work, but in the way that, it can sustain me financially so I can do it more. But yeah, subscribe, share it with your friends. Follow me on Twitter at PieGuyRules. PieGuyRules, out.